Boys and girls, moms and dads, welcome to Pin to Pin, the volleyball podcast. My name is Ryan Tolman. I'm your show host. I got two people to my right today. My far right is, as always, Danger Will Robinson. Behind the screen is Chris Maglanog. And then we are so excited today for our special guest. We have the one and only Preslie Anderson joining us today. If you don't know Preslie, you're going to know her by the end of the episode, and you are going to absolutely love her as much as we do. She is an incredible human being, volleyball coach, was a great volleyball player. I don't know, you still playing volleyball?
I still mess around in
you
practices.
You still dabble a little bit?
I still dabble a little.
I bet you're pretty good at it. So we're gonna talk to Preslie about all things volleyball, and I'm super excited. We're sponsored today again by Melon. Until we actually get sponsored, we're all wearing Melon hats, so we got to get Preslie a Melon hat. I should go grab her one in the room. Yeah, and then what are we sponsored by over there? Will some Starbucks, something other?
Love my cold brew.
Sponsored by Starbucks and Melon today. So.
And then you know how we start, right? Do you think you can do this?
Have you listened, or have you actually? She hasn't seen it. If you don't watch it on YouTube, you don't see the high five.
Oh, there's a high five.
Three-way high five, Preslie. Okay. Let's go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Boom. We're going. Here we go. There it is.
My favorite part.
Chris, you hit the right button.
It is.
Nice job, dude.
Chris is settled in over there as our producer. We're getting the kinks ironed out. We're super excited to be rolling today. I know the time doesn't matter to podcast listeners, but it is early. It's like 8:30 in the morning. We got an early call. We got busy stuff going on today, and we're lucky that Preslie decided to join us this early. We're actually more lucky that Will got out of bed this morning in time to come.
I know.
I always get out of bed. It's just what time.
Well, yeah, this early. That's
definitely a night owl. You guys know this. I'm a night owl. I'm not this early morning guy.
All right, let's get through some of our pre stuff, our beginning show stuff, so
Chris,
that we can get to Preslie. Are you ready over there, Chris?
Yeah, I can be ready.
Let's do our trivia of the
He's
day.
still messing with the mic.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, I can be ready, guys. All right, here we go.
I am ready. Chris, you got your trivia ready? Here we go.
Sure.
All right, let's do it. Pow.
All right, guys. This is Chris's show trivia.
Way more energy than Noah ever had. No, I'm not throwing shade at Noah, but Chris is bringing it this morning.
Very different.
Bringing
All
it
right,
this morning.
so very simple questions here. It's a two-parter, as always. As Preslie's alma mater is Cal and Baylor, both the Bears.
Yep.
So
weird.
How many NCAA...
You're putting Preslie on the spot here.
I know.
How many
well
NCAA Final Four appearances has Cal have and Baylor has?
Like combined or separate?
Separate because,
All right.
Because I said it was
Cal's
a two-parter.
had 2 and Baylor's had 1.
That's correct.
Oh, geez,
that was going to be my...
Well, no, you shouldn't have said correct. That's your fault.
They just like, hey, Will, you nailed it.
Hey.
Exactly.
All right. Looks like we're no longer guessing.
Preslie, did you know that answer?
I actually did know that answer.
Oh, there you go.
Thank goodness. But there's no way to...
Chris's
I could be
show
lying
trivia.
right now.
Chris, you gotta wait for the answer.
It is Chris. It is
He
Chris's.
is so excited.
It is Chris's trivia, so he
can
does
do
what he
whatever-
wants.
he does what he wants.
And you
Alright.
nailed it. Congratulations, Will.
Nice job, Will.
You know what's crazy? I had no idea. I just don't know enough.
Yeah.
History
Baylor's
of college.
recent is with Yossi.
Yeah.
Remember the girl that can fly?
Well, why do you do that
Their
to
Final
me?
Four
You
was
saw
the year
her
before
play
I
at
got there.
Athletes Unlimited, so I don't want to hear it. You've literally seen her play in person.
Oh, cool. I don't.
He's watched you watch her.
I understand that, but like I don't know. I didn't know that's who I was watching.
Yeah, fair.
She
Fair.
flies.
She was-
There's like 2 girls at that flew, and she was one of them.
Leonman. being the
What was
Yeah,
it?
I guess there's 3. 'cause
What was her name? What's her name?
Yasiana Preslie.
Literally the player of the year.
5-time All-American. 5-time first team All-American.
5 times. I love hearing 5 times.
5 times. Isn't that crazy? I know.
I know.
One of these days we might get a 6 time.
No, unless COVID
I
comes back.
I guess
COVID has
you're right
to
now.
come
It's
back.
probably
Or
gone.
whatever's
So
next.
True.
all right. Well,
We got a comment from YouTube.
We did get a great comment. We need to.
And you know him. I don't. Correct?
I don't know him.
Oh, I thought we knew him.
I don't think so.
Do you have his
Now
name?
we just absolutely obliterated this guy
Did
because
we?
you acted like we knew him,
I thought we knew him.
and now I'm going to feel bad if I'm supposed to know him. Right? I mean, I know a lot of people, but I don't remember who I know.
Cody Cannon? We don't know Cody.
I don't know Cody.
Well, we appreciate you, Cody.
I know Cody's great. He's a listener. I don't know where we picked him up along the way, but we're excited to have him. And maybe I do, and I just blew it. And sorry, Cody.
Cody's
Next time I
crying
see
right
you,
now.
Cody, just call me out for it. I don't know Cody Cannon. Read the comment though. It really made my heart happy.
This is from Cody Cannon.
Yeah.
This might be a fake name.
Maybe. Last episode.
Glad to see. Oh, yeah. So this is on Katie Tolman's.
Yeah. So support from the stands, how to be a good parent, and all that good stuff.
Glad to see you are all back. Appreciate the call out.
We took a little bit of a time. Appreciate the call out. That's what I'm saying. I don't know who we called out.
That's why. Yeah. That's why I said.
I don't know. Anyway.
I was a new volleyball parent 2 years ago, and this show helped me. I stopped grumbling at games so much and really started to enjoy the sport in all its glory. To quote Coach Scheedinger. Do you know who Scheedinger? Okay. This is audio gold.
Yeah, so we got a coach somewhere listening to it.
Keep creating. Appreciate the work you do.
This is great.
Coach Scheedinger. Hey, can you look that up for us?
Coach what?
Scheedinger. Sheet. Inger. Scheedinger.
Yeah, I felt like you were making this like a PG-13 show for a second there.
Can you spell that again?
Sheet, like the sheet on your bed. Inger. Inger.
All right.
Do we get it?
First Google search I got was
on in the middle of the show. We're just winging it here.
That's fine.
Jeremy Scheedinger, head coach at Georgia Gwinnett College.
Okay. You know what? I might know Cody. I wonder if he's part of the Love family with A5 over there.
I don't know.
It could be.
Baseball coach.
Gwinnett, because A5 has a site in Gwinnett in Georgia.
Truth.
So I don't know. Love Connection. LOVB. Look it
Maybe.
up. Look the Google LOVB. It'll open your eyes. We got some cool things coming down the pipe with that stuff. We've got some professional women's volleyball heading our way. It's really exciting. Why are you showing me the show?
So then you don't remember, or don't forget the
quote.
The quote.
Quote of the day.
Unless you remember. Did you note off top?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
All right, I was like, wow.
Not
I'm
at all.
impressed.
I usually read it, but I'll read it today, so that's fine.
No, it's yours.
Okay, so we're talking to Preslie Anderson today, and one of the best, in my opinion, and I have lots of opinions, and they might not be good, Preslie, so you can tell me if they're bad. In my opinion, one of Preslie's best qualities is just the energy she brings to every room she's in. And John Wooden said, your energy and enjoyment, drive, and dedication will stimulate and greatly inspire others. And I think, to be honest, that embodies who you are as a person, Preslie. Has that always been who you are? Energy?
It is. I think big part of that is I'm the middle child, 5 kids. So
You're right in the middle?
I'm right in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah. It goes older sister, older brother,
Yeah.
me, younger brother, younger sister.
Yeah.
So I like to say that I was fighting. We always joke in my family that there's middle child problems. That's like what my dad always tells me is like middle child problems because I'm always fighting for the attention and energy in the room. No, but I just think it fills up my own cup, you know? Like when I make other people laugh, when other people have follow-up texts or I'm a relationship-driven person. I think that's why coaching is meant for me because I think this is literally a job where if you're good at relationships, you're probably going to be good at your job.
Yep. That's all I did for the first 15 years of my career because I didn't know what I was. The volleyball, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I was just faking it.
Fake it till you make it. Yeah.
That's awesome. So let's dive right into the volleyball stuff. We just got a piece of the personal life, middle child. I'm sort of a middle child. There's only 4, so you can't get right in the middle, but I have an older sister and then the younger ones. I don't know that I was always fighting for attention because I was always the largest one of the family, so they're probably like, where's the big idiot, you know? Yeah. So when did you, the 5 kids, your younger sister Ava plays volleyball, right?
Yep.
At what point did you decide volleyball was the route for you as a young person? I mean, because obviously when volleyball hits a family, it hits everybody, right? You know what I mean? That's how it goes. So in my family, Dak played and then everybody else is like, okay, well, we're just going to play volleyball. And so I'm sure Ava had a lot of influence from you watching you play, but when did you first start playing? And then when did it hit you that this was your thing?
Well, for one, I was so not great at basketball, and I think
And that was your family sport?
yeah, it
Okay.
was. It was. My dad actually wrestled growing up. He wrestled at ASU.
No way.
A great wrestler.
He was a wrestler?
All-American. Yeah,
That is a
all-American
very
wrestler.
tall wrestler.
6'8", yeah, heavyweight, obviously.
There's no such thing as a 6'8"
Obviously.
wrestler.
Yeah.
Take
He just
Oh, come on.
Wait, so he had that
6'8"
build in college, dude?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
6'8" and he's wrestling the 150 range.
Because I know my dad won't listen to this. I'll also say he was a lot slimmer, a lot more. He was lean. He was
Sure.
very
That's
lean.
But
Kind
still
of like my
6'8".
little brother, but 6'8".
Yeah.
So yeah, he wrestled at ASU. And then I guess we all kind of played different sports growing up, but basketball was the one that kind of stuck for
Yeah.
all of us. And then I did not personally I always played co-ed because my mom wanted me to play with my older brother. Except I was the only girl on the team ever. Like
Right.
co-ed with me being the only girl didn't really feel like
How much
co-ed.
older is he than you?
A year grade wise.
So very close in
Very
age.
close,
Okay.
yeah.
Are you guys close in
Yes.
like?
Yeah. Everyone thinks he's like my twin.
Yeah.
You guys do look a lot alike.
Yeah, we do look a lot alike.
And then what's the gap between you and your sister?
Older sister?
Yeah.
She's 30. So
Oh,
I'm
there's
25. Yeah, 5 years.
Okay.
But she's actually the reason why I started playing volleyball, and sticking with it. And I was like, okay, there is a sport for taller people outside of basketball.
I found something
I
else.
found something else.
About what age do you think that was?
Like third, fourth grade.
Okay, so early.
Yeah, I watched her play just like in YMCA, rec.
So she
junior
played?
high. Yeah, she
Okay.
did. She stopped playing after, I think, once she got to high school. But it wasn't me going to her games and watching her was enough for me to be like, okay,
Yeah.
this sport is interesting
Right.
to me.
So did you guys? Have you always lived in Arizona? Is this where you were born?
Yep. Born and
Okay.
raised. Chandler. Right
Yeah,
there, baby.
right there.
I represent it so loudly and proudly.
I love-
being
yeah,
from
I love it.
Arizona.
Absolutely.
Presley.
Yeah.
Loudly and proudly.
Yeah.
So, was the first time you played an organized game of volleyball at YMCA and Aspire?
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's
go.
No,
It works.
No, yeah.
That's crazy.
Get him in the gym.
Who was your first coach?
Beth, none of it. Well,
No
Ashton
way.
Lloyd.
Oh, wait.
Ashton? No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Former.
You didn't have some random Y coach?
No.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
former
Jeez.
owner, Scott Lloyd's daughter,
Second or firstborn?
second born, I think.
Yeah.
Ashton, and she coached with us for a while at the club, and
Yeah.
she started with the YMCA stuff early. Obviously, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And then how fast did you get the bug?
I
It's
don't know.
different for everyone, but I swear it's within 2 years for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think, if I'm thinking back to just the coaches that I had, 12's year was so fun for me because also I had been playing that 12's club group for me was Lainey Wagner, Brooke Nunaviller. It was girls. They were younger.
So they were younger. They're
And
playing
you had
up with you.
You had Logan Wallerstedt.
She joined 13s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anna was Anna there?
Anna
yet?
was on my
Yep.
team. Yeah, Anna Morse. So they were all younger than me, but it felt like they had been in the gym for 10 years.
Well, Brooke had since she could walk.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So seeing them and how much fun they had, they actually kind of taught me the game at 12 because I had no idea what I
Yeah.
was doing. I was just a tall body.
What a fun group.
Yeah. And then, by 13s, I was like, yeah, this is what I'm sticking to.
Did you split with them the next year? They
Yeah.
stayed 12s and you went to 13s?
Yep, exactly.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
And
And
who was your
that's
13s coach?
Rob Ricio.
And then 14s?
Vanis.
And then
Vanis, 14s, 15s, 16s. And then 17s would have been...
Reg.
Well, it actually was Linda.
Oh, that's right. Linda
and Jose.
Jose, yeah.
And then Linda got the NC State job. Jose was just our coach until nationals because at that time they were both at ASU.
Yeah.
And then Lamar and Regina took
Got
over
it.
17s and 18s. Yeah.
Wow. What a run.
What a run.
You were hooked on the first time you served a ball over because that's usually when
Yeah.
you get those little ones.
Yeah.
They finally hit that first serve over
Mental
okay.
block is over.
Yeah, they're like, okay,
Yeah.
I can do this sport. This is cool.
Yeah.
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 And then, so when it comes to this, what did Ian do? Was he just
He played
basketball?
football. He played
Oh.
basketball and football.
So did he get rings at Hamilton?
He did it.
Oh, he was at the end of it?
He was at the end of it. I think his freshman year, he got pulled. I think his freshman year, he was on he got pulled up. But it's
Yeah. Hey, man.
he's
just
wearing
in case
a jersey.
there's an injury.
Yeah, he's wearing a jersey on the sideline. So he had just missed that era at Hamilton.
Okay.
But yeah, and then he always played football. He played at South Dakota School of Mines, which is a
Okay.
D2 in South Dakota engineering school. He's
A lot of
brilliant.
dumb people go there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know. I went to Cal, and and he went to South Dakota School of Mines for engineering, and I still think night and day. He's way more academically sound than I am. You know?
Where did your
Listen-
sister go?
My oldest sister.
Well, yeah, Ava's still in high school.
Right. Good point. Good
That's-
point.
yeah.
Thank you. See, there it is.
There it is.
Not- I'm exposing myself already. She did go to ASU Online for a little bit, but then she just got right into work, and she's still working at that same place. She worked her way up. She's very high up for Hyatt in Scottsdale, the Gainey Ranch one.
Nice.
Yeah, so she's got she travels all the time for work. She gets free hotel. She's always wanting me to travel with her, but of course, I basically travel for a job, and I'm pretty booked and busy.
Something a lot of people don't know about Preslie is her parents are incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, like this, you hear, all these kids finding success and being, awesome community members and all that stuff. And that's, for me, that's parenting. Your parents are awesome. They did a great
Every
job
time
with
I
all
see
you guys.
Nancy, I smile.
Yeah.
Every time.
She's
She's
great.
awesome.
They're awesome.
Mike isn't around as much because
Yeah,
he's a
he's
workaholic.
working.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I figured.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
he owns a barbecue. Is that wrong?
It is wrong.
Dang it.
Fact check. I want there to be like a little noise.
There's the fact check.
Thank
Chris
you,
is on the
thank you.
trivia.
He actually owned Texas Roadhouse, the one with
That's
Gilbert and
it.
Jermaine, forever. Then got out of the restaurant business, and now he's right back at it. He owns, or I guess he's I don't know the official title, general manager for Bocce's. It's a mom and pop Italian place in Queen Creek, actually.
Oh, cool.
It's probably 10 minutes from here.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he got.
I'm sure
right
I'm going to
back
see
in.
it in the next day or two.
I know,
Right,
That's
it'll
how it
pop up.
works.
naturally.
Yep, it'll
Yep.
pop up for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get back on track with the volleyball stuff. So, 12s, 13s, did they stick you in the middle?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Just because you were tall. Just because you were tall.
Didn't ask me any opinions or questions.
No, this is an answer a question I don't know the answer to. I'm going to ask a bunch of questions I don't know the answer to, but this
Okay,
is
fair.
definitely one of them. Were you mad about it? And looking back, are you mad that that's what happened?
No, I mean,
It's a loaded question.
It is a loaded
Yeah.
question. It's tough because I think if you want to be a good middle, you got to be a workhorse. And I will live and die on that hill. Like I like
Yeah.
middles who want to work hard in trans. I
Oh,
want
yeah.
the ball. I'm offensive minded beyond, and we can get into that later about my not great. I know you're gonna bring up my blocking. I
Don't
don't
worry
want to
about
hear
it.
about
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, I think it made sense actually looking back at it for my personality. However, of course I wanted to be a setter. Of course I wanted to be an
Really?
outside. I wanted
I thought you wanted to be an outside.
I wanted to be
your
an outside
senior
because
year, you got to play out.
I did. I got to be I got to be a 6-row middle.
Oh,
Yeah, I played middle 6 rotations.
nice.
Thank you, Coach Fantas. I just never
At
wanted
Hamilton, you did?
At Hamilton.
Why do I not remember this stuff?
Yeah.
Sometimes I remember the dumbest things, and then I can't remember other stuff. I don't
Yeah.
remember you doing that. That's crazy.
It was so fun. I just never wanted to come
so
off
who did the
court.
libero come in for?
I don't know. Beats me.
You guys were so
Well, we
good.
did like I think maybe
No, their
because,
senior year, you were down. I thought.
What do you mean?
Like you weren't as good as normal, right?
I mean,
As
no,
you-
actually, well, Heaven could play my senior year because she couldn't play
right,
the junior
that's right.
year. So yeah, I mean, we were still
You guys
good.
lost. So you lost in the final four to Mount Point.
Yes, we
Yep.
did.
I remember
Shout out
that.
Andrew Yamashiro. He was coaching at that time.
Andrew Yamashiro over
You remember
at
that
Mount
final
Point?
kill?
I do remember the final
Funniest
kill.
final kill of
What
all
was
time.
it?
It was
I
like a
don't-
jumbo.
It
It was like the slowest attack from the outside, and
And
it
it just dropped.
lands in deep five.
it lands in deep. I still remember looking back. I'm like, I cannot believe
That
wasn't
just landed.
Yeah.
and it was from their worst player.
Hey, that's listen.
Hey, that's how it
way
happens.
Way to
That's how-
find a way to
time.
contribute.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
So middle. I always thought you were so good at it, but it does seem to be a pandemic,
It
if
is
I
a
can
time
use that
frame.
word now, or if it's too soon in our sport that it's like, oh, there's a tall girl.
Yep.
Go play middle.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah, looking back, it's
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I
like
guess-
let's say you were going to coach a 12s, 13s team. What would you do differently? Knowing what you know now.
It's I think honestly I would try and put the quick twitched kids in the middle. That's not always, and for obvious reasons, at 12, 13, usually if you're the tallest, you're probably the slowest. Because you haven't grown into your body yet.
Your legs don't work the way they should yet.
So I think I would actually probably do flip. Like I would probably put the quicker kids in the middle just because lateral movement's for blocking, but like is blocking really that serious at 12s and 13s? Probably I don't know, because I'm watching kids now, 13-year-olds running slides, and I'm like, I was trying to do that. I was not doing that at the level that some of these 13-year-olds
I was watching
are
it.
doing. I was watching it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not mad that I was put in the middle. I still I don't know. I do love the position, and now I'm like super protective over the middles that I coach now.
Sure.
But yeah, obviously I never wanted to come off the court. That was probably the worst part. That's probably the worst part about the position.
I think that's why people don't want to play it. Yeah. Because I want to be out there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be
Some
out
are
there.
like, oh, thank God I don't have to go back.
I know. 3 rows and then mental break. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I loved what you said there. This is the cool part about if you're listening and you're a teenage girl. I don't know how many teenage girls we get to listen to Pin, the Volleyball podcast, but we should. Mm-hmm. Especially this episode, we should make sure they're listening, because the cool part about that is I was trying to run slides. I was watching them run it, but your development was pretty awesome. You started, a lot of kids at their early, especially 13s, 14s, are like, oh man, I'm not very good at this yet.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Yeah, it is totally okay. I was not the best on my team at 12s, and not at I would argue not at 13s either. It started clicking for me.
15s is when you were an All-American.
15.
Right?
Yeah.
That's when I remember watching you play for the first time. Was 15s. That team was gnarly. You guys got second at nationals.
Yeah,
that year.
we did. Yeah, because we won 14 national, and then because we played in the national, we didn't end up getting an open bid, and then 15s. We made it to the finals we beat a really good wave team with Savvy's team, some really good players in the semis. So basically it was an upset. It was one of those we were in like a 3-way tie with T Street. Somehow slid our way by just by points. I don't know how they do it now, but we slid our way by.
Depends on the tournament. We don't know either.
Right.
Too soon.
I know. Yeah. Right.
Hey, Chris.
Right.
Will had a snafu at nationals with the tiebreaker.
Worst coaching mistake of mine.
I might have heard about this.
What'd you hear? What'd you hear?
I heard that you guys might have. I know that it was your fault. I'm not sure.
100% it was my fault.
They randomly decided to play out tiebreakers at AAU Nationals last year, and Will's team missed the opportunity to play it out. So
we forfeited the first round of a 3-way.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
It was kind of a bummer.
That is tough.
Lessons learned.
Lessons learned.
So,
we're all growing. Growth mindset.
Always.
Yeah. Always.
Yeah, but then that 15s year, we had made it to 15 open finals against a really good Northern Lights team.
Who was on that team?
Bree Orr, Kennedy Orr's older sister. Jenny, she played at UCLA, then transferred to Kansas. I'm spacing on her last name.
Yeah, the
outside, she jumps
weird
really
arm.
well. Weird, yeah.
Oh, God, what was her name?
Let's see, Claire Sheehan, I think her name was. A lot of those girls, there was like Hallie Johnson. There was like 4 girls on that team going to Iowa, University of Iowa. Oddly enough. I don't know why.
You know what's interesting? You hear this like you talk about kids on these teams, and your team was loaded. I mean, you talk about all the girls that went and played, Division I volleyball across the country. And this is for you parents out there. If you don't have big time college volleyball players on your club team, you're probably not going to win a national championship.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
if you're an
true.
open team, you probably have for sure on the court at all times 5 Division I kids.
Yeah.
And I think
the 6 is going to be a D3 kid.
Yeah, somebody who's just really smart.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I think the expectation is just wild from some of these people. Like our best player is this girl who's very, very good, but then we don't have 4, 5, 6 Division I studs who are going. If you don't have them, you don't have a chance to win.
Yeah.
Gotta have the horses.
Very hard.
Gotta have the horses.
I know. When I think back to my club team, I think at that time, it was just a norm. Everyone's going to play somewhere. Like
you didn't know.
I didn't know like how cool it was that Haley at that time was committed to ASU. Ended up going to Arkansas. Heaven going to NAU. Jess going to South Carolina. Kendall going to Georgia. Me going to Cal. Yeah, Chapin going to Gonzaga.
And not just going, but contributing. All those girls ended up contributing at those places, which is
then the following year
crazy.
you added Jess.
Yes.
So
Yep.
like you had 8 Division I
Yep.
kids, if I did my math right. I
Yep.
think I did.
Sid went to Fresno State and then ended up at Marshall. Like, it was just insane. Like, looking around, I'm like, okay, this is like pretty cool that all of us are going to go play somewhere and hopefully play each other.
Looking back, you take it for granted when you're in it, but looking
Yeah.
back, it's like, oh my gosh, this is cool.
Yeah.
What was aside from maybe that run at 15s, what do you think was your kind of fondest memory about club volleyball?
You know?
Yeah, what was the highest? What was the lowest? I gotta know it, right? Like, you can go lowest first, and then we feel good.
Yeah. I think, well, there's like one, this is going to sound ridiculous for this being my lowest, but it was 12s at nationals. You can ask Beth. She still uses it as an example to this day. We had won all in Arizona. We had been good. We were not good. Like, we were probably not a great 12s team, but at that time we thought we were.
We had
good.
a bunch of babies still. A bunch of 11s. Yeah.
And we acted like it at nationals. Lainey Wagner just bawling her eyes out on the court because we're losing. Like, I think, I don't know if, I don't want to, fact check. I don't know if Brooke was crying, but I swear there were tears in everyone's eyes.
Everybody
while
at some point was crying.
And I'm like, this is so ridiculous. We were 12, we were competitive, and we were losing.
Yeah.
So it was tough.
So did you guys lose like every match at nationals?
We lost like every match. We lost like, I swear, I don't know.
So that was
what our
12
record-
national.
That
I'm
was
guessing.
12 nationals.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
No, like the national division, right?
Yes.
Because they don't have open. They still don't have
they
open,
don't,
right?
I don't think they have 12 open.
I should know this, but
They
you
shouldn't.
guys keep calling me out on this
Like
stuff.
what? Yeah. No, it was
Yeah,
12
they
national.
shouldn't. That's
You just lost everything.
We lost everything.
a bunch of stud volley. You know
got
what?
rumbled.
Learn your lesson at 11 years old, right?
Yeah. I would like to think that that's one. I mean, it just stands out in my head. Of course, there were other times where we had lost. I think during my 14s to 16s, or at least 15s and 16s year, we had done so well. We'd won so often. One of my favorite tournaments that I'm so sad that it's gone now is Colorado Crossroads.
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved it too.
That was a tournament we went
Hated
to.
flying
I swear
in there.
why?
Oh
Because
my
scary
God,
airport.
stupid turbulence.
The superstitions.
No,
Okay.
no.
Well, I don't know.
definitely
He
not
has
the
the weirdest things he doesn't like.
Okay,
Preslie.
it's like the
It's
closest
superstitions.
tournament to us.
It's just
like,
he's the weirdest things he doesn't like. He
Man,
flies in
Salt
there-
Lake is brutal
Salt-
too, man. I'm sorry, dude. I'm okay with turbulence. Just sometimes it gets.
I don't
too
even
much.
notice this stuff.
I don't notice
It's such
it
a
either.
Will thing to notice.
I know. I don't notice it
All
either.
right. Well, sorry.
We
Yeah,
liked
it's okay.
Yeah, no.
we
Crossroads
liked
is
Crossroads.
fun, especially the honey almonds or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
It would fill that convention
is that
center
right?
smell.
Cinnamon,
it was great.
whatever.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
cinnamon.
oh, man.
Yeah, so awesome.
And
That
then-
that tournament was the best. Like
It was.
felt the most competitive, and like everyone was having the most fun outside of the volleyball part
Yeah.
too. The hotel, the Hyatt being right across, or the Marriott, whatever, right across the street.
Well, and they had that
It was
16th
snowing.
Street, I think it was, that
Yep.
had all the restaurants and
Yep.
everything on it. Everybody would walk
Bubba
up and
Gumps.
down, and
Bubba Gumps, I think that's what it's called.
yeah, right across the street
Yeah.
there. It was great. The big blue bear.
The blue
yeah,
bear.
the Crossroads was cool.
And it felt like it was always towards the beginning of. I don't know if it was one of the first tournaments, but it always
is.
felt towards the beginning.
I believe it's the.
Yeah, it was always
and
right
like
around
it kicked
spring break.
off.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was like it
Yeah.
kicked off. Now we're in club season.
Right.
And it's a central-ish location.
Yeah.
It got
So,
a
yeah,
lot
it
of
got a lot
talent
of
around the
talent.
country.
Yep.
Yeah, it was sad when it went away.
It's her fault.
Yeah.
We don't
It is
need
their
to.
fault.
We don't need to get into
We don't
that.
need to get
We don't need to get into that.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
so
don't
what? So the high 15s nationals, or I mean,
Yeah, I think this is gonna sound probably horrible, but it's like, yeah, but we won. 15 nationals. Sorry, I was thinking of 14s because I'm like 14s. We won the national
Yeah.
division, and I actually saw a topic recently like, okay, if you win national division and you say you're national champs,
Oh,
You're not.
We've talked about this.
you're
for a
not.
long
You're
time.
not.
you're a
And
national
you're
champion
a
of some
national
sort.
champion of some sort, but also there's
know.
however many. But yeah,
That'd be
it
like
just
the
gets tough.
NIT
Yes.
winner being like, I'm
I'm the
gonna beat
national-
UConn.
Yeah.
Or
It's-
whoever
it's-
or
Well,
South
but it's-
Carolina.
I don't think they think of it like that. Like, you're still happy that you went to the tournament and won.
Right.
And it is still a national.
It's a national
It's
tournament.
a national tournament. Are you the national
No.
champions? No. Had we won 15 Open against that Northern Lights, which I remember in my head, this is the lowest. We're up 8-4 at the switch, third set, 15 Opens. I can't even believe
No way.
we were up 8-4. Come off the court at 8-4. Like we rotated whatever. never got on the court since when they beat us.
So it's like 15 7.
I don't think it was that bad. I don't remember the final
You didn't
score.
get on?
You were up 8-4 on the switch?
Never
Wow.
rotated back in. And I have never sat and that's again, going back to why it sucks being a middle. You're on for 3, you're off for 3, and then
Here we
sometimes
go, guys.
you gotta
Side
sit
out.
on.
I can just picture. I just had this vision in my mind of Preslie on the sideline, just
I'm like, come on,
yelling at her
just
teammates,
rotate.
Literally
let's
on the
go,
sideline.
like-
She was
Literally
probably
on
on
the
the
sideline.
court.
right, like feet on the sideline.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
of course,
Like,
of
come
course.
on, ladies, let's go.
And it was Haley Durgle. It's Haley Durgle's birthday.
Oh, dude.
Final. Yeah, it was her birthday. Final point goes up. Just absolutely housed on her birthday to have them win.
Haley, we love you.
I know, we love you, Haley. And I just look at Haley's face and I can't even look at her because she's gonna cry. There was like 3 of us or 4 of us that got the all tournament.
yeah.
Whatever.
Kendall and you.
Yeah, it was us 3.
The only reason I know that is there's a picture.
There is.
That's the only reason I know that.
Yes. That's good. Yeah, it was us 3. I've never been. This is when I'm like actually disappointed in myself. I've never been more upset. I show everything on my face. I have 0 poker face. I was pissed off when they gave me that all.
I'm sure. I can see
like,
that
I don't
too.
care about this.
Like, yeah, throw this over in the garbage.
We just lost.
Right.
We were up 8-4 and just lost.
Ugh.
Like, so that was probably a really bitter, selfish moment for me.
You were
And
15. I think
was
we'll
15.
let that one slide.
Okay. Thank goodness. But yeah.
So let's talk about the recruiting process with you, because there's a lot of people who are interested in this for a lot of different reasons. And then we can get in. I don't know how long we've been going so far, but
sorry.
I'm into it. No,
I'm into it.
We can go.
We're here.
We'll just keep going.
Okay.
And then we'll talk maybe about it from an ASU coach Preslie perspective now, because obviously things have changed. But as a teenager, do you remember much about that process and sort of how it went? And I mean, what advice might you have for those who are doing it right now?
Yeah, I think I've had a lot of time to think about this, especially now that I'm on the other end of it. My process was really interesting in that it felt like there was, at least looking back at like what ended up being my top 3 schools, there was not much similarity between the 3. It was Cal, ASU, and Pepperdine is what it came down to.
Very different.
Very different. But all of those coaching staffs at that time had poured so much into me. And again, I go back to like, I'm such a relationship driven person. Like, there was not a program out there that could have gotten to me if they didn't like actually build something with me. And so that Cal staff at that time did such an amazing job of showing me that they wanted me. And then like beyond just the volleyball piece, like I felt like they were investing in me as a young female. I was like, at that time there were hardly any recruiting rules. Like,
it's very
there was
different now.
you have to wait till June 5th. It's like, you can go whenever you want it. Whenever you're ready, you can give them the green light. So Pepperdine was a long-standing, like they were probably one of the longest schools that had recruited me for the longest since 8th grade. It felt like up until whenever I committed early sophomore year.
Do you regret committing that early?
That's I don't. Early. I know it was
like
early.
That's like a girl on June 15th saying, "Yep, I'm in."
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. And so now looking at it, I'm like, how do these girls just like say yes? Like they don't even know. But to be fair, at that time I had taken like unofficials. There was just a lot of unofficials because you couldn't take that. That part still is true. Like you couldn't take your official visit until your junior year. So I took 2 unofficials to each of the schools. Obviously with ASU being one of them, I could go see them whenever. I'd grown up. That was a part of my
that's
it was in my
DNA.
blood. It was in the DNA. But yeah, I'd taken so many unofficials and I felt like I knew what I was doing, and I don't regret it. I didn't feel like it was too early because I had a 2-year relationship with all of these schools at that point. So I was ready to go.
Well, and you probably had some really good advice from mom and dad.
Yeah, I did.
We talk about your parents. I mean, they certainly were involved in that.
Absolutely. Yeah, my dad being a former collegiate athlete, he gave me, I know I was a wrestler, but back in my day.
You got the back in my day speech.
Here we go. Here we
love
go. No, but he gave me a lot of obviously great wisdom.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest thing for me, my recruiting process is like I did what I felt was right. I wasn't looking for, at that time there was no NIL. I wasn't looking for the team that won the most, clearly, because at that time Cal hadn't been successful in a few years or had, gone to the postseason. So for someone who I feel like I'm very competitive, I want to win. That wasn't the first thing that I was looking at. And I feel like that's what might be more, I guess, trickier now, is that a lot of kids with this, it's like recency bias. Like, I want to go to the team that just won.
I know, right.
Like, winning is what is most
richer.
Yeah, exactly. So that wasn't important to me. Like I said, the relationship piece was important to me. Now, when I was I don't know if we'll transition to this, but when I was in the transfer process, once COVID took away my senior year, obviously there was no Pac-12 that fall season. My mindset had flipped of, I just want to go somewhere that wins because I have one more year.
Yeah.
All I care about is going. I had never gone to the tournament. I was building something at Cal. We were on our way to the tournament. We should have. I will argue this till the day I die. If you go back and look at what we did my 2019 year at Cal, like my coaching staff, I feel like scheduled us, and we had won in a way that should have allowed us to go to the tournament.
Yeah.
We didn't. So I was like, I'm coming back my senior year.
We're gonna do this.
2020. Obviously, that didn't happen. Ended up grad transferring, going to Baylor. I just wanted to go to a place that won. I wanted to know what it felt like to go to the tournament.
Sure. I don't blame you.
And honestly, I thought I was going to be done after Cal because I felt so in debt. Well, one, I didn't really know what the extra year of eligibility was going to look like, but my heart was so with that Cal program that I was like, it would feel wrong going anywhere else.
Is that why you picked a place that also had bears? Is that like,
exactly?
Is that
so I'm like, let me
factor?
still stay connected.
I still have the bear thing, so everything's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, your picture on the wall at Aspire still says Cal, so
it does.
Yeah, we won't change that.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I am.
I mean, it's the school at Cal's decent.
Yeah,
right. Your education was probably pretty good.
It was pretty good. Yeah.
So you had that part going. Had you graduated before you went to Baylor?
Yep. I graduated in 3.5. So I graduated that December, which was kind of my plan all along.
How did you do 3.5 while playing volleyball? That's crazy.
Just summer. Yeah. I really stacked up over summer to make sure I could get it done. Yeah. Because I mean,
listen up there, people.
Yeah. I mean, I really
tip.
do recommend it. And in the same breath, I also would have wanted, I do think my only regret maybe would have been I kind of wanted one semester of college where I wasn't a student athlete. Like getting that spring after.
To be a NARP.
Like, you don't have to. But obviously that NARP life didn't bode well for me because I'm already back in college volleyball. Like, I don't know. It's just, I feel so connected. It would have been weird not having volleyball. I don't know how
that was your identity.
It was.
Yeah. I mean,
Some say it still is.
It still is,
it definitely
right?
is.
Yeah.
What would you say the biggest do and don'ts are in the recruit? We're going to go back.
Process? Yeah, we can go back to the recruiting process.
Just to give some like nuggets to the littles.
I think, well, one, and I mean this, and I know it's hard to hear from me because I did only play D1 and Power 5, Power 4, whatever, and I'm coaching at a Power 4.
And a half.
It's weird.
P4 now.
P4. But there is a place for everyone, and I really do believe that. And if you're not so set on the name, the who went, and you just want to look at fit and like the things that are important to you. And again, that's what I did during my initial recruiting process. Cal was the best fit for me. I cared about academics, I cared about relationships, and that coaching staff showed me that was going to be important to them. And they were going to invest in me as a volleyball player along the way. Now I ended up having a new coaching staff every year during my entire time.
Was it really every year?
Every year is wild.
Every year.
Sheesh. I knew you had a new one. I didn't know it was every year. That's crazy.
Every year. And I never even was coached by this head coach that had recruited me. So
you did have assistants that stayed.
I had assistants that stayed. There was some shout out.
Amir Lugo. And then you had Spencer.
Right? He stayed for 2, and Jen Dorr stayed for.
You had some good ones.
I did. Yep, Spencer, Amir, Jen. I mean, these are people I'm still all super close with because they were the most consistent things.
You see them every other weekend. Too.
Yeah, I do. I do. I'll recruit it. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think once you figure out what it is that's important to you, you make that the priority in all of these conversations. And if the coaching staffs or the schools, the team culture doesn't align with what you're looking for, then that's probably not the place for you.
College volleyball's hard.
It is so hard.
D1 athletics. I think just college athletics. Can we generalize college athletics?
Sure, but we're talking about volleyball.
Like it's so hard.
We are.
Are we?
volleyball
pin.
podcast.
Pin to
Yep,
pin.
mhm.
Yeah.
Pin to pin.
So I don't think people realize how hard it is.
It's so hard.
What makes it the hardest? I think about that. Like, is it because of the academic load on top of the physical load? Like, just the
I think
burnout.
yeah.
It's just so much.
Yeah.
You never
I think
get time
that
to
actually
chill.
depends on
On the
whether
school?
or not, yes, on the school. Like, I know a lot of.
Yeah, nobody's got academic issues at ASU. No
Hey,
offense.
now.
No offense.
Hey,
But hey, I'm
What
a
if
Sun
they're in
Devil.
Barrett? What if they're in Barrett?
Okay, we'll give them that.
Right. I mean, I guess it's just such a cliche answer. It is time management, but that's not even really what the hard part was. I guess it is the burnout. Like, do you love volleyball enough to want to do this every day and also want to give to the, 15 to 18 people in your program that much, where not only is it like when you're at practice, but it's like, what are you doing in your free time that's either helping or taking away from your team? And that is like one of the biggest, that's academically, that's socially. I would say like one of the big things for our team right now at ASU is like volunteering in our community, connecting, going to other sports games. That's something that's big in our culture. That's something that could be seen as like a waste. These girls could be spending their time doing a million other things, but it's something we ask of them because that is the expectation within our program.
Sure.
So it's not just, are you willing to go to practice, lift an hour, go to practice for 3 hours every single day for 4 years or 5 years or 6 years, depending on if you're a COVID athlete or
There is
eight.
a person doing eight
There
right
is
now.
a person doing 8 right now. But it's also like during that time that you're not in the gym, are you still willing to give? Like it doesn't matter to you that much where you're still putting that team at the focus of like what you're doing. And it is really hard and requires a lot of discipline. And that's why, not a lot of people, once a lot of people are done with college athletics, they're like, I'm out. I did my time and I'm out. I don't want to be in it anymore.
It's amazing how many kids just don't realize how hard it is.
Yeah.
All of that, and then you have a coach yelling at you every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
driving you to be good. I mean, their livelihood, their jobs are on the line. They have to win. They have to be successful, and they're gonna work you hard.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise
100%.
me that you were successful at it because you are so good at giving, like you talked about, to your teammates and others, and
Yeah.
Well, you
being
had a
able
good
to
support group at home to cry to, right? Like,
100%,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean that matters too.
Yeah.
And one that went through it,
Yeah.
so he can kind
Exactly,
of relate
that
to you,
helps.
like, hey, this is normal.
Yeah.
Like,
The
welcome
grind. Welcome to the grind.
Welcome to the grind.
Yeah.
Well, and the one thing you said that I think is super important that we need to make sure all of our athletes understand is you said if you don't love it, you know it's going to be even harder.
It's going to be harder.
like you have to love the sport where this is that you have to bleed it like this as everything. It's your identity and this is who you are, and because it's hard. And
Yeah.
and you did you ever deal with injuries and stuff like where you missed significant time?
No, I probably missed 2 practices, one for like a shoulder, like literally during my career. Actually, it might have honestly only been one because it was like the beginning part of the practice. I was waiting to be released. I got for my shoulder. This was my freshman year. Probably just the jump from, and that's another thing. Like people don't actually understand when you go from even club volleyball for as long as it is. You don't understand the
Not even
intensity.
close.
It's not even close.
Nothing's
it is
close.
not
High school would be close-ish.
High school would be close-ish,
But you're
and-
not lifting.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you are, but
Yes, right, exactly.
Not at the same
Not at
intensity.
the
Nope.
same intensity. So you go from that to freshman year. I'm starting, and I have to contribute. And again, so offensive minded, my shoulder wasn't prepared for it. I've missed probably 1 practice during my whole
That's
career.
incredible.
Yeah.
I'm
No
just,
major injuries.
It's
because
good because
I
you
don't know
needed to
how.
work on blocking. So
Exactly.
Oh,
There it is.
there it is.
Are you gonna play it?
yeah, there it is. Here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, got him.
we just have 4 total tunes, and we don't know how to change them. So
Oh man, well that's incredible.
Yeah.
Durability is huge, and that's just also another level of this college volleyball stuff that the injuries happen to
Totally.
almost everybody. They're inevitable.
The best.
Everyone.
And then how mentally tough are you to just to get through an injury in a season where you're sitting and watching? It's hard. I applaud successful college volleyball players, college athletes in general, more so than most, just because it is. I know how hard it is. When did you decide that you were going to be a coach?
Okay, this is like a funny. I say it's funny. To me, it's funny because I'm like, this just for volleyball being so much of my identity all my life. I was pretty much in the mindset of I was gonna get out of it. I did pre-law at Cal. Thought I was gonna go to law school. I was actually thinking about ASU, going to ASU law school, coming back home, because how else would I be able to live? Because law school's expensive. I wanted to change lives. I wanted to impact lives. I knew the type of law that I probably wanted to get into wasn't going to make me a lot of money, but it was going to help people.
What was that?
Just being a defense attorney, like a public defender.
That's awesome. We need them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. I wanted to. I don't know. I cared a lot about it.
Does that surprise you?
Not
That's
at all.
what she would want to be.
Yeah. Go up and argue for people who
she
need
went
it.
to Cal.
Help people,
you know what I mean?
help people and argue and all that. Doesn't surprise
Now,
you at all.
how many people from Harvard are going to be like, yeah, I'm going to be a public defense attorney.
Exactly.
Yeah. No,
They're
it
like,
makes
that's
sense.
not where
It
the
tracks.
money is.
No,
yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah. People were like, okay, that's what you want to go to law school for. But yeah, that was just like what's important to me. And again, it was just like I wanted to do something that I wanted to be where my passion was. That's where my heart was. And once I had transferred and went to Baylor, I was like, okay, well, what am I doing? I ended up getting my master's in sports management, and the part of sports management, I actually finished that program early too. Again, because of summer classes, I was able to kind of speed through it because I played a spring and a fall at Baylor because that was the back-to-back season. So I wanted to be done with school by the time I was done with that fall. So that last part that I needed, that last piece that I was missing was an internship. And I'm like, okay, what can I do for an internship that would actually mean something to me, that I would feel good at? And people are like, why don't you just get into coaching? I'm like, yeah, well, why don't I just do that? Get into collegiate coaching.
Sure, why not?
Sure. And so I actually had emailed the previous Arizona State head coach, and I said, hey, I know the volunteer coach is a thing, and I need this last piece for my program. I'm kind of curious about collegiate coaching, but not really. I didn't think I was gonna enjoy it. I certainly didn't think I was gonna be here when I first got into it. I thought I was kind of just like, it would have been something to get me back home in the area, and then coaching volleyball. Like, I know volleyball well enough. I can learn the game, still be a part of the game. So she brought me on as the volunteer assistant. And then once I had actually like started getting into collegiate athletics and seeing the other side of it as a coach, I'm like, okay, I can do this. And also another thing is I'm like, there's just not enough young females, I didn't think, looking around the collegiate coaching landscape who are not, I don't know how to say this, but who want to be there and for the long run. Yeah. And I'm like, I could be one of these coaches who
doing a little bit like you did. Like, I just want to do it for a year or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And then it ends up burning you out as a coach, because you get burned out as a coach too. That's a real thing. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, well, I can actually do this. And I think maybe I could actually be good at this. And so now I've totally flipped my mindset where I'm like, I want to do this for the long run. I want to be the coach that I would have want to played under. Like, that's awesome. That's ultimately like my goal, because I know I can look at these girls and say, I know what you're going through right now, but just trust me. Like, when I'm pouring into you, it's coming, or getting on you, it's coming from a good place, because I know what it takes. I've had coaches lead me and direct me in a way where like I've seen so much growth in like what feels like such a short period of time. And so that's kind of like why I'm in it now. You know, my why from why I played has kind of directly transferred into why I'm coaching.
What's your Mount Rushmore of your coaching mentors currently, like right now?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty fluid, I feel like, but right now, today.
Be specific. So from
who I've played under?
Coached under?
Going into the coaching, changing your brain, and learning the other side of it. Mm-hmm. Who has been there to help you the most with, like, you know, teaching, you know, X's and O's, managing, admin stuff, that kind of stuff. Yep. I'm sure there's things I'm missing
all of the stuff.
All of the things.
Yeah. I mean, Amir. right off the bat. Yeah, I saw he changed my game as a player, changed my
Yeah, he taught
mentality.
you how to block in your middle blocker.
Okay,
so
thank
that's,
you
Thank you so much, Amir.
Thank you for teaching me how to block. No one cared about that when I was younger. They just wanted me to put the ball away, dude.
I'm with you. It's hilarious.
They were like, just put the ball away. If we put it
Get
away
a
enough,
kill.
exactly. I would say Morgan Thomas. She's the recruiting coordinator at TCU. She was my first. Once I went from being the volunteer ASU to TCU, she has and still is leading me in being a young female. I would say Sam Crossan. He was my coach when I was at Cal.
Your third coach?
He was my third
Right,
coach. So yeah, what would have been my last year at Cal. He has helped me a lot and just staying steady and I guess regrouping. He still supports me. He came out to my like midnight game or Sweet 16 game when we played at Stanford this past year against Stanford. It literally was we started playing at like 11 p.m.
That's
at night
crazy.
Pacific time. Like there was my
was
mom wasn't even
It was
awake.
because the match before,
Yes,
That's the
because
that's the Pac-12 for you.
it is. Well, this was a Sweet
The
16
former.
game, but yeah, right.
Oh, this was the NCAA.
This was the
Okay.
NCAA tournament because Texas played Tennessee.
And it went
Tennessee was up, 24-19, and then ended up going to 5,
Which is
and it went
wild. And then
overtime.
yeah, I know that.
And then
Texas should not have been.
I know.
yeah.
It's crazy. That's why I love sports so much.
Right.
Just being able to sit there and watch that game, I'm like, they're really about to do this. Madison
Yeah.
Skinner's not going to let them lose. Come on.
Crazy.
It was nuts.
She did, and
to
she
see
didn't
that flip.
let them lose.
Yeah,
she's
she
pretty
did
good.
not.
I do know who that is.
Yeah,
Good job. I'm so proud of
Thank
you.
you. I know.
I know
I'm
that's-
killing it over
You're
here.
killing it.
You got one more.
One more. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my
You're
gosh.
putting her on the spot.
I know. This
I know.
is tough.
I told you there'd be some on the spots.
I know. That's fine. I want to put another female up on there,
Go for it.
naturally.
Do you have one, though, is the question.
Yeah.
I mean, again, he was a little more specific to college, but Sharon Vannis certainly played a role in your life.
Throw her up there. Throw her up
Vanis.
there.
Got it.
I will.
Because she did teach, because you coached club with her,
I coached
too.
club
so-
with her.
okay, yeah,
Oh yeah. She taught me a lot as a player, but then still like a lot as a coach. And again, we still have very close relationship.
Yep.
She pours into me all the time. She came to a lot of my games this past year. Yeah, she's been like in my corner since day one. So I think it's because, and we've talked about this before, whenever she refers to my team, the team that she coached from 14s to 16, she's like, I've never had a team like want to play volleyball. Well, one, be pretty good, and then want to play volleyball as much as we did. Like we were excited.
Gym rats.
We wanted to play, and we wanted to we were good together, and we were
We had
good
some
for
groups
her.
that are like strung together. That one point in time when Haley Harwood was 18s, you guys were 17s,
Yep.
and Brooke was 16s, and then Annie Hatch. Like all those groups loved volley.
Love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Like they
it
just
was-
Yeah.
they would get to practice 45 minutes early.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was a
Not because the coach.
No.
Like,
It was
let's
a
just
crazy.
play.
It was a crazy time
Yeah.
at Aspire.
was.
Sharon Vannis's sphere of influence is miles
Yes.
wide.
Yes.
She's incredible.
Yep.
The young women she's influenced and helped along the way is
100%,
is pretty
yeah.
incredible. And she does it in a very unique way that nobody
Yeah.
else can duplicate, right? She's
Agreed.
hard.
She's hard.
She pushes you to your limits.
Yep.
She probably makes a lot of them cry.
Yep.
And every single one of them leaves loving her. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
100%.
It's incredible what she does. So
Yeah. I
That's
know.
awesome.
It's so funny because like when I pulled up here, so I was doing some emails this morning, whatever. I'm like, okay, I need to get there at 7:45. Because you guys asked me, you're like, okay, we're going to start at 8. Why do you think it is that I get there? I need to feel
15
like I
minutes
need
early.
because
Yeah.
if it's
Yeah.
Vanessa's 15-minute
He
rule.
might tell Vannis I was 15 minutes late.
That's literally what went through my head. I'm like, am I going to get in trouble because I didn't show up at 7:45
It's
instead
a
of
good way to get programmed.
It-
There's no, I mean,
Will,
Yeah.
I wish Will would have played for Vannis because then maybe he might be on
if
time
I
more
would have
often.
played for Vannis, I would have been a way better human.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
you missed
there's
out.
so
Yeah.
many things I would have been better
Yeah.
at. Oh my gosh.
Being on time would be
Being
one
on
of them.
time.
Yeah.
First
Who was on time today?
Okay,
So-
you made it today.
I was here before Preslie, and she was coached by Vannis for
That's
3 years
true.
or
That's
4
true.
years. So
touche.
Oh my
touche.
God.
saying.
There it is. Well, so then I think this part for me is because people have asked me over the years, and when I first started this coaching thing, I thought I was going to be a basketball coach.
Yeah.
So volleyball is sort of weaseled its way in, And people have asked, like, have you ever thought about coaching college? And I don't know enough volleyball, and I don't want the grind and all that other stuff. I don't know that anybody would ever hire me. Maybe someday as a volunteer assistant when I'm 70, and then just throw this old guy on the end of the bench, whatever.
Why not?
Part of the other reason is I haven't really truly wanted to pursue it is because I don't want to end up in the middle of nowhere coaching. Mm-hmm. You got to come home.
You got to be at great places.
Oh yeah.
You got. I mean, how awesome?
Don't know how.
How awesome is that?
I when I tell you, I don't even know what I did to deserve the path that I was on. Just like my whole volleyball path, from going to Cal to going to Baylor, being able to 2 Sweet 16s, being a volunteer at home, then volunteer at TCU under a great coaching staff, all under people who recruited me. Kyle Luongo, the assistant at TCU, was the first person who recruited me when I was like 13 years old. He was at Pepperdine at the time, so he was a part of that Pepperdine coaching staff. I've had like the longest standing relationship with him. Jason Williams, the now head coach at TCU, was my assistant at Baylor. And then Morgan, obviously, who I just talked about, who is still very much in my life. Then to come back here as my first assistant job when I was 23 at the time when I got hired on. It just doesn't happen like that. It just doesn't. No. I don't see it happen like that.
No.
Where the opportunities, where you want to be is actually open. And then
timing.
Where the timing is just odd. It's very odd. In a great way. Like it really helps with like the gratitude piece of like, I didn't just get here because of luck. Like I worked to get here, but like the timing is definitely played on my side. For openings in coaching. And so when I found out that it was actually Brad Keller, he's the head coach at USC.
Mm-hmm. You knew that, right?
See, I just want to make sure.
I'm glad you said that. You did know that, though?
I did.
Nice.
Okay.
I know a few things. Not a lot.
A few. Okay, fair. So
he is one of them.
He is one of them. I told him, I'm looking for a job. This is when I was a volunteer at TCU. At that time, there was no third assistant. So I was like, I need to find an opening. I'm like, I'm going to end up in the middle of, Ohio at some D2. Like that, in my mind, I was fully prepared for that. Because I'm like, I don't know what's going to be available. I don't know who's going to want me on their staff. I have a year of being a volunteer under my belt. Like, that's not a lot. Yeah. It's not anything. And when Brad had reached out to me because he was kind of helping put my name out there. He told me, he's like, JJ got the head coaching job at ASU. This was literally the night that he had just gotten off the Zoom with the ASU admin, whatever. He's like, you need to reach out to him right now. So I was like, perfect. He sent me his number. I was the first person to reach out to JJ before it was even announced, before JJ had even like told his wife that he got the job, like that it was official.
Nice job, Brad.
I want to come coach with you.
I know. I'm like, how desperate did I look? But I'm like, it's
no, but I was like, that's how it goes.
Hey, I heard through the grapevine that you got the head coaching job at ASU. I'm from the area. I'm really eager to get into this job, into this role. There's no one that knows Arizona and ASU as well as I did, apart from the fact that I didn't actually play at ASU. Felt like I knew this place inside and out. Like, again, I bleed maroon and gold.
Right.
And I'm like, I want to come work for you. And so he had texted me back. He's like, all right, let's hop on the phone, whatever. And to this day, I mean, he brings it up all the time, like at our banquets. He's like, she reached out to me and it was weird because I'm like, how does she know this? And I'm like, of course, because Brad told me. Right. I'm like, yeah, he helped me out. And so we were on the phone for like a week leading up to when for hours leading up to when he hired me. And then January 1st last year, he offered me the job. I was still in Arizona, actually. I was here because I guess it would have been TCU's winter break. So I came back home. I was still living in Fort Worth at that time. All my stuff was still there, but I was just here for a few weeks for Christmas or whatever. And then he offered me the job and I'm like, yes. And he's like, don't you want to know what the pay is? I'm like, oh,
no, it doesn't matter. doesn't matter.
I didn't even ask because I was that eager. Like it didn't matter. Didn't matter, and it goes back to like when you're so passionate about something and the fit feels so right. Like, why would I say no?
Right. When I heard that you got that job, I was like, oh,
makes sense.
JJ hit a home run.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I mean, just like the again, we've talked about it. Like I've already said it on the show, and here we go. Tolman's got like phrases. It doesn't surprise me that this is the path that you've been on.
Yeah.
Just like back to our quote at the beginning of the show, your energy, your passion, your desire, just who you are as a person. It's just infectious with the people that you're around, and the relationships that you built with the coaches. That's ultimately how you get hired. That's ultimately how you end up in these positions, is
Totally.
the people that you know and the relationships that you build. And you're so good at that. And it's super awesome to see a young person recognize that in themselves and then go after it. And, obviously there has to be some drive, right? You have to really want it.
Yeah.
There probably would have been a lot of people that have been like, oh man, I don't know, should I really text him? And you mull it over, and next thing you know, you spend a week or two thinking about it, and then you're late. You're late to the party.
Yeah.
He probably respected the fact that it was like, she was on it, right? I'm after it. So super awesome. What's been the best part about being at ASU so far? Other than being home and being able to be on the podcast.
Right. Being able to be on Pin to Pin. It's a 10-minute drive from where I live. I still live in Chandler. I think, honestly, it feels so beyond full circle for another reason that, like, watching ASU volleyball growing up was what I went to their games because that was the closest.
And that was the Gardner era too,
yes,
right?
Yes. So I watched good ASU volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
And it inspired, that was part of the reasons it inspired me to want to play college volleyball. I'm like, I want to play in the Pac-12. Like, I want to play and beat UCLA, USC, Stanford. Like, I want to do these things.
Mm-hmm.
And so, being able to now be on the floor and help guide these girls to beat UCLA, USC, and Stanford in our first year, I'm like,
take that, Amir.
Yeah, take that. You're on my Mount Rushmore, but I'm probably on yours too.
There you go.
Oh my God, boom. But yeah, I think just thinking, I'm like, I was literally that girl in the stand, like the little club girls when we have like club night. I'm like, I was literally that girl in the stands. I don't know many coaches who can say that they're literally coaching at home in the same arena that they grew up watching, and
awesome.
inspired.
There's not many
by.
that come to mind.
I know.
I know
know.
Jill Kramer before Jason was the only one that I can think of. Like, she played there.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It just doesn't happen.
Awesome.
Cassidy Lickman did it for a little bit at Stanford. It's super cool.
Rare. So also it does help, I will say, in my job when it comes to the recruiting piece for sure, because people can hear my authenticity about this program. Because when I say, like, I was born and raised a Sun Devil, I mean, I have more pictures we did family photo shoots wearing all ASU stuff. Like, photos with Sparky with my long Bermuda denim shorts, like when I'm like an awkward 10-year-old.
Now. I mean,
they're in now. They're coming back. I would have been pretty swaggy. But yeah, it's so full circle and so special in that way that I'm like, I literally couldn't have wrote it up any better for me to be back here.
We're super, super excited to.
You know what I want to ask?
To have you go for it.
I'm nervous.
Did you? Is the feedback one up yet?
No, it's coming up.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
so this is organic.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. So we're
feedback. So the argument, loose air quotes here.
Okay.
Discussion
during matches.
Lively discussion.
Okay.
Very lively
during matches.
I'm matches. How much technical feedback do you believe in giving? How are you raised?
Well,
I want to know what Amir thinks, because I've never talked to Amir about in-game. I mean, Amir and I talk about like training. But.
Yeah. I think it should be this is something, and I've had a lot of coaches, JJ being one of them. He's really good on like feed forward. Like, what is it that's actually important to what we're trying to do? What you're trying to do is beat the team on the other side. Is talking about, hey, so when you go up, I really want you, and you see coaches do this a lot on the sideline.
Especially in prep volleyball.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, I need you to, get up and put your right hand over and finish to area 6 because you're getting tooled too much out the sideline. Getting very specific with it. Do you think that kid during the entirety of the match is thinking, hey, when I go up, I need to think about having my right? Maybe they are. I wasn't. If someone gave me feedback like that was very, very specific in terms of this should be something we're working on in the gym, in practice, I'm not thinking about that in a game. I'm thinking about, okay, what area is open for me to hit? Where, like, who are their hitters on the other side? Like, what's the first thing coming at me? How do I stop, set, or dump? You know, how do I give back to the people on my team? I'm not thinking about the one specific thing, because what happens is you get tooled, say, twice. Okay, there's 2 points. Is that really... Now talking about those 2 points, now you have me hung up on these as a player. I'm now hung up on these 2 points, which is worrying about the pass, instead of, okay, well, now you're in serve receive. So should you actually be talking about blocking? Because that's not feed forward. And I for being as passionate as I am talking about this, I still do it all the time. I still am I find myself giving technical feedback when that's like not the point. When you put your team out there, they should know what to do. However you prep them during that week.
They are who they are.
They are who they are. There's not going to be, and maybe they do end up getting a block because they are thinking about, I need to get my shoulders around to area 6. But that's also probably just because of the thousands of reps that they have done in their life. And now they're not getting tooled for some reason.
Do you have athletes, though, at ASU that literally come off the court and want technical feedback?
Yeah, I did last year. Our middle last year,
And what, did you like it? Did you dislike it? Did you agree with her?
I tried redirecting where her thinking was. I was like, is this actually that important? Because she was getting hung up because she's like...
Perfectionist, right?
Yeah, she wanted to know... Well, she hadn't played her entire time. She's a 5th year last year. She was our M2, Maddie McLaughlin. She went from... She was like a 5-month middle. We made her a middle in the spring. She hadn't played not volleyball, but she had a very interesting journey. She was a pin her entire career. She started at D3, transferred to ASU. She was at ASU for 3-4 years, whatever. Never really played. She was like a blocking sub a few times. We made her a middle because we're like, she's physical. And at that time with our roster, that's what we needed. Yep. She went and watched 20,000 clips over summer. She went and she wanted to know every single situation, what she needs to do, what does her body need to look like, and that's what she needed. So I knew to give that to her because in order to help her get out of her own head, I had to give her some sort of technical answer. She didn't like when I said, just go out there and do, because she didn't know how to do.
She didn't know what do was.
She didn't know what do was. That's a very specific situation.
Yeah.
A lot of other kids, they've been doing their entire time. And I think if you want to give them...
Like Jeter,
right? If she would never come off and be like, hey, should I... Is my left arm... You know, it wasn't that specific. It was like, hey, area 1's open, go crush the ball to area 1. You know, they're leaving you line on the slide. Just go ahead and take it. Leave a little early. The setter's not going to dump the ball. Like, it was practical in-game game plan things that I needed to talk about. And I think
because of her youth, that makes sense, right? Like the youth of the position.
Yes, her youth of position, she wanted to know everything. And just like the nature of her mind and how it worked. I'm very much like, I think when you get to that point, a lot of it is just like game plan adjustments. Like as a coach, have you prepared them in a way where they know what to do? We big on blocking schemes. Do they know what to do in rows 1 through 6 when the team's in row 2? Do they know that we're going to go trap go because they said it 70% of the time? If they do, great. If I'm seeing them make a move where it doesn't look like they're totally in tune with the game plan that we've discussed, that's like the reminders that I've given them. But at the collegiate level, like it's very rare, at least none of my coaches and all the combinations of coaches that I've had or I've worked with, and I've literally, there's a ton. My coaching tree spreads so far. I've rarely had any that are giving me technical feedback in a game.
So what, did Amir ever?
No.
Just decision-making and tactics?
Just decision-making and tactics.
So Chris, this doesn't help us.
Why? So I'm assuming you both were on the other side of it.
I said a little balance between, but
he was more hybrid-y. I just think if you're trying to change technique in a match, you've lost.
Will thinks he's coaching college kids.
Nope, that's not what I think. But okay,
so let's say he's completely.
I got Steph Curry out there.
So I'm specifically referring to collegiate athletics.
Let's say you're coaching a 16-year-old girls team. Let's say you're coaching your sister's team, 17.
I actually think sometimes they do need that.
Okay.
I do. I would say because a lot of times they're not focused enough, or I don't even know if it's focused enough, But I think
I don't think they've
haven't
done,
done
it
it
enough.
enough. Yes, that's
Yeah.
what I mean. Where it's not this muscle memory of. So sometimes when you tell them, I think passing is probably the easiest thing that coaches want to give technical feedback on. You watch a player get aced, and the next thing the coach is saying, especially at the club level, is, "Hey, so when that ball is coming on your right, you need to open and drop your shoulder, whatever." Things like that. Like, I don't think that's crossing the line. It's when you get so specific and you're so caught up on a play, a point that happened that probably isn't going to affect the outcome of the game. Like, is that actually a thing that's going to affect the outcome of the game?
So the argument with Will is he gives none.
That's not true.
See,
He gives none.
That's not true. Chris, is that true?
What was that?
None.
Are you listening?
Zero.
we're losing him.
Do I give zero technical feedback when I coach with you?
No, you give technical feedback.
Thank you. So, boom.
Will
It
thinks
happened
that you
on
can't give
Sunday.
technical.
I can bring
Will-
Tanner Robinson in that door right now.
Will thinks
and
that you can't give technical feedback during matches because it doesn't matter.
No, see, I don't think that it does.
He is putting words in my mouth, Chris.
No, those words were spoken on the last podcast. I think that the young kids just need as much guidance as they can get. Last night, perfect example. So I have 6 freshmen on our varsity boys team at Perry, which is unheard of, right? Freshman boys are, they're gangly.
Nuts, yeah.
That's pretty nice.
They're very, very good. And typically my coaching style with the Perry boys, especially throughout the regular season, is I let them figure it out type of thing, right? Because, we play a lot of matches where, and this wasn't the case last night, but we play a lot of matches where they can figure it out and we're still going to win, right? They don't need me to hold their hand. Last night, we ended up dropping a set when we shouldn't have because I sort of just allowed them to kind of try to figure it out.
Yeah.
We lost set 3. Set 4 comes around. I was giving significantly more feedback, positive feedback, like when they did well, so they know what they did well. But then also, hey, this is some of it was tactical, some of it was technical, but there was feedback on a significantly more amount of plays in set 4. We won 25-11. So I think that the young kids just need guidance.
I think it refocuses them.
I-
But if
100%.
there comes to a point where it's too much, and that's what
I don't know that what I loved about what Preslie said is and this is maybe a JJ thing, right? Is the feed forward. I love that.
Yeah.
The too much is when it becomes negative, and now you're dwelling on the past points. I think that's where too much. I don't. That's a tricky phrase because I don't. If feedback is given properly in a positive way and in a way that helps them to refocus because that's what they need, I don't think you can have too much. Because kids just, for whatever reason, they haven't done it enough. They don't, like, in service you talk about, they don't understand their angles yet. So, they revert back to what's easiest. Mm-hmm. And if you don't constantly help them to understand this is what we're trying to accomplish, whether it's a match or it's in practice, they're never going to get it. I mean, you need constant feedback. You need constant reminders. That's just how people learn, period. Anything, any skill. So, like equate it to school. If I'm taking a test and the teacher's standing right there and giving me feedback as I go through the test, am I going to do better on the test?
Yes.
Okay, well, what's the difference between a test and the game, which is essentially the test?
Well, there's now motor learning programs involved.
Well, it's still you still use the word learning, Will. So it's learning.
You're correct, but you're like talking about a physical act versus just
same
here.
thing. No, but it all starts here. The physicality starts here, and it goes to here. If you don't have the mental part of it figured out, if your brain's not telling your body what to do properly, the physical stuff isn't going to happen. I'm telling you, it's the exact same thing. The learning translates to the motor. Learning is learning, right? If a teacher's giving you constant feedback while you're taking a test, you're going to do better. The games are the tests, right? At least that's how I see it.
I agree with that.
As you get to higher levels, right, like Presley's level, those girls don't even want to hear it.
Yeah.
And
Unless they want to hear it.
Unless they want to hear
right.
it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a mistake that a lot of college coaches make is they talk too much.
Yeah.
Right? Like tactical stuff is what those kids are looking for.
Yeah.
Like let's focus them on what we need to do to win a match as opposed to, your hands weren't quite right there, whatever, crap like that. So I think we're all on the same page.
Yeah, we're close.
We're
We're maybe in the same book.
Not same page, same book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same.
I agree with that.
Well, Preslie, one day
This was awesome.
One day when you are the head coach of a team,
Yep.
and I am old and retired.
I'll let you be my volunteer.
Volunteer on the
no,
end.
consultant.
No,
Well,
consultant.
Just call me a consultant. I'll show up. I'll show
All
up
right.
when I want to.
Whenever you want.
Like, you know, I mean, if we're traveling to play Iowa State, I don't want to go.
Right.
But
You
if
can
we're-
pick and choose. The
If
big
we're
I
going to
understand.
play, you know, somewhere fun, I don't know.
Your travel schedule
We're
just
going to
got
play
crazy
Pepperdine.
next year, didn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. Go
So-
Pac-12 to Big 12.
Yeah.
I mean, no more.
It's gonna be a wild time for you guys.
Virginia.
Yeah, see, I'm not going to West
No,
Virginia.
no one wants to go
No,
there.
not at
Yeah.
all.
Ever.
Not at all. So yeah, I mean Morgantown. That doesn't sound exciting.
Why do you think it's so hard to recruit there?
Well, right. Yeah. So someday,
Okay.
when I'm old and
Deal.
you've been doing it now for 20 years, and
Deal.
you're like, that guy just needs something to
Needs
do.
something. Keep him going.
He can't play golf anymore, and it's like just put him on the end. Thank you so much for being here.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
That was an awesome time to listen to, you know, your insight and your history, and you know, go Devils.
Go Devs.
You know,
Come on.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Come
super
on,
pumped. You
Will.
guys-
Come on. You got
Are
to
we
say
gonna-
it.
They have my money.
are we? Yeah, mine too. Right? Are we going to be able to kind of rebuild real quick? I know we lost a lot of seniors, but are we going to be able to rebuild real quick and
We
get
did. We
back
got some.
to the?
We got some good transfers. We did, and
we didn't even get into the transfer stuff. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Your world right now
That's
with the
another
NIL,
episode.
and the
yeah,
right?
Another
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is a full episode in
Yeah.
itself. It's actually insane. Yeah, I think the Big 12 is competitive, pretty even.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have, especially now that we lost Texas, you don't have someone.
Texas can go away.
They went to see ya. It's wide open, so
Yeah.
I'm really excited
Fun.
about this year.
Yeah, it's a whole new era of Sun Devil volleyball.
Yep.
If you're a volleyball fan, you need to get out to Mullet Arena and pack
Yeah.
that place. It's an exciting place
is
to watch volleyball, and
That's a cool spot.
we're
It's so
super.
cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Excited for the Sun Devils
it's cold,
moving
though. Make
forward.
sure you're
cold,
wearing
bring a
some-
Yeah, got some ice in there.
It's got some ice in
Got
there.
some ice. Got some ice.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. If you are listening, hit the like button. What is it? We got it here. Thanks for listening. Will wrote all this out. I should memorize it.
No, I'm just here for it.
Thanks for
man.
listening
Yeah.
to Pin to Pin, the volleyball podcast. Follow us on social media. Reading it. Social media, YouTube, Instagram, share, find us on Spotify podcasts, wherever else, Google, all that stuff. Hopefully you're enjoying the ride. Thanks again, Preslie, for being here. And
Yep.
Thank you so much.
we'll
it's
see you on the
awesome.
sideline here
Yeah.
soon. All right, everybody. Are you ready for your thing? Well, I
Yeah.
don't even know how to send it out.
I don't either.
All right. Thanks for joining us on Pin to Pin, the volleyball podcast.
Peace.
There you go.